Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello. Today we're going to be talking about creating your frequency and what that means and how you can do it as well. So if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves to my audience.
Sounds good. So again, he was asking, I'm going to stare at you and the camera. Okay?
Yeah, we'll look at the camera, we'll look at each other, like whatever, you know. But if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you'll see who we're looking at. If you're listening, you may be a little confused.
Excellent. All right, so my name's Ali.
I'm Shawn V.
And we're the authors of Create Your Frequency. We have a couple other projects, so we'll get into. But Chris, thanks for having us. I know we've been talking about this podcast.
Thank you guys for being on here.
Yeah, we've been talking about this podcast for a long time, so finally making it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great to have you guys here. Super glad that we're able to make this happen. And you guys have made a lot of great introductions to other people who have been on my show as well. So it's been really fun to just come here, meet new people, learn new things, and basically have a free membership at WeWork. I need to go get some coffee here in a little bit, but
That's funny.
Shout out to WeWork. But yeah, I guess what do you guys want to go ahead and get started on? We can go whatever order, talk about your background, challenges you've overcome.
How you want to jump into it?
Well, usually what we've been doing with other podcasts is telling people how we met. And then once we do that, kind of lays the foundation for everything else. And then we'll get into the topic, which is entrepreneurship and motivation, right?
Perfect. Yeah, I don't think I know the story. How did you guys meet?
All right, go ahead.
How long have you known each other for? I guess that goes into the story.
It's about under 2 years.
Okay.
Like really at it. We were at it for like...
See that face he made? He was like,
I don't know,
really?
like y'all were like childhood friends or something.
Nah.
2 years? Okay.
Under 2 years, I would say.
Yeah.
I met him this month 2 years ago. October.
Facebook memories let me come up.
No.
You were friends 2 years ago.
No. It feels like forever.
Yeah, and so really we've been connecting. We actually moved in together a year ago. So
Okay, awesome.
So we hit the ground running. A little background: I had a digital marketing company. I took care of small clients, clothing lines, artists, influencers, motivational speakers, small graphic projects, small website projects. He ran a record label and clothing line. So I reached out.
You guys are very into the artistic.
Right.
I love that space.
So we connected over Instagram because the artist he was managing, I really liked the music, and we connected over music. So I thought I was talking to the artist the whole time, but I wasn't. I was talking to Shawn. And we worked together on a couple of ad campaigns for a few months, and then parted ways. But on a good note, he actually found a better deal. So I was like, hey, he actually let me know about it. He's like, hey, I think I got this better deal.
I told you about it earlier.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that. And he parted ways on a good note, and he said, I got a better deal. You know, I was like, hey, you know what? That is a good deal. Take it. 2 months later, we're both back at square one. I parted ways with my old partners due to a lot of discrepancies, a lot of...
They were doing really well. His company was doing really well.
You guys had office space growing, right?
Thanks to him, because they just got bought out.
Anyway, so
Damn.
we'll not talk about that.
We'll gloss over that.
Yeah.
Part of the story.
So that's part of the lessons: entrepreneurship, motivation.
Oh, you learn, yeah.
Yeah, keeping that mastermind group. So
absolutely.
So he connected. He was in Miami at the time. He came over and he's like, "Hey, I have this situation." And then a week later, I faced the same situation. He's like, "I got screwed over. Blah blah blah. Whatever happened." And I remember specifically. Do you remember what you said?
I remember every time, bro. He pulled up to my house and I looked at him, and as soon as he opened the door, he did look a little upset, and I was like, welcome, bro. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, welcome to the bottom, dog. You made it. And I was like, there's only one way to go from here. And since then, that's what we've been doing, man. We've just been going on the up and up since that day.
They say rock bottom's a solid foundation to get started.
It was weird, man,
right?
how we clicked. It was different for me. Ali was my first Middle Eastern friend, like, ever. So I feel like he was my long lost brother, right? And it just worked, and our morals were the same. Our goals were very, very similar. That's why we named our company Principles LLC, because we got the same principles.
Okay, awesome.
I mean, a lot of it just lined up, even like our families and just the similarities. Music taste. That's a big thing for me. That's a big thing for me is what people listen to, who I surround myself with, the kind of music they listen to is huge for me. I don't know. For me, it's like, it's all about what you feed yourself, whether it's TV, music, books, all that. I mean, it matters to me. It does. I think so.
That's cool. And it's kind of like, even like a relationship, a friendship, business partnership. There's going to be pros and cons, similarities and differences.
You can ask him, like, my main thing, like, with women, like he always said, is music. Like if a girl doesn't, depending on what type of music she listens to, is a big deal for me.
Oh yeah,
he's right.
That's kind of how it was with my girlfriend and I. Funny side note, we actually met like on Tinder, but the main thing that stood out to her was that I said I like rock and metal, and she's like, "What's your favorite band?" And when I didn't come out with something like Blink-182, I like Blink-182, but like that's not metal.
Generic, right?
And then she was like, "Oh, I like Killswitch Engage," and I'm like, "Huh? You're the first girl I met who ever knows what that band is."
That's what I'm saying, man.
So we connected. We're actually going to a show here on Tuesday night. So last time she went moshing or no crowd surfing. So I'm like, whoa, I haven't gotten that intense yet, but it's good to connect with people like that.
He's a very unpredictable guy.
Man, I'm telling you,
jumping off of planes, listening to rock and roll, you never expected.
But my music taste has changed a little bit more. It's been more influenced by people like you guys coming in, and I start to see what you listen to, and I still have a little place in my heart for that kind of crazy music. Back when I used to go to Hot Topic those days. But things have changed now. I'm more in the entrepreneurship space, reading books. I know you hooked me up with your Audible account. We'll listen to like thousands of books probably by now.
Yeah, we dropped a pretty penny on Audible.
But that's a good investment. So awesome. So you guys have known each other for only about 2 years now.
Feels like a long time, but yeah.
For real, the way you guys hang out, I thought you would have known each other for longer. But I mean, 2 years is a good amount of time.
It works, man. It just works.
See, it's not about how long you know somebody. It's about the depth of the relationship, the bond you build.
Absolutely. And that's kind of like the quality, right?
Destiny, whatever it may be. Who knows?
That's awesome. How did this business partnership and stuff develop? Because you guys knew each other, you had similar interests.
Okay, we both did our visions, our goals, and our background overlapped.
Yeah.
So we were doing things by ourselves. We both, entrepreneurship spirit since we were young, motivated by family, motivated by trying to live the better life to help people around us. So we were like, instead of doing this by ourselves, because we still have separate projects that we work on.
Right.
Let's try to overlap whatever we can, whether it's marketing, whether it's consulting, whether it's branding, whether it's real estate, whether it's jewelry, whatever we can work on together. Music, not that we're doing music, but we're helping people execute on those dreams. Mm-hmm. But side note, we may be doing music, not me. We'll talk about that later. But it's all about applying that creativity in whatever space it is, and that kind of led up to the book. So I've actually been doing research on the book for a couple of years, and I told a lot of people, they're like, oh, that's cool. That's cool, you write a book or whatever. When I told him, he was like, bro, let's run with it. Like, let's do it. And he took the vision, he read over it. We actually read over my notes, because there wasn't a book at that point.
Like our books are lined up too. Like all the books that we've read were kind of like, all of our favorite books were very similar, all that kind of stuff. So I already knew where his head was at, right? I was
what kind of book
if you like these, then I know what you're thinking about, and I kind of know what you want to write about. So I was excited about it, and we did it.
It was just raw notes. It was notes from like random topics, anything from emotion, everything. Yeah, all that over experiences, but like marketing, business, entrepreneurship, sales, mindset, perception, emotional intelligence, dealing with people. It was just all these notes.
Yeah,
literally like 6 or 7 different
like a
notes.
Book of life almost.
Exactly. Right? So you read through it. I remember sitting in this. Once we moved in together, that's when it actually kicked up. We would put up the projector, and this was like after both of our day projects, 9-10 o'clock. We get on there until 2 or 3 in the morning, and we just like piecing it together, just moving it. This sounds good. I read it. He read it. Read it out loud. Like okay. And then a lot of times we're like, damn, holy shit, like that's gonna work. Awesome. Like yeah. So like save that. All right, let's find synonyms. Let's word this differently. So pretty much just piecing it together.
Yeah, you guys pay a lot of attention to detail, which is something I admire. Like I saw the website and the social media and stuff that you guys put out. It's very planned and not fake or anything. Like, but you guys have a lot of intention behind everything you put.
And that's the thing. Everything we do try to do with intention, right?
Yeah.
The purpose of the book was to inspire, to help people create, no matter what industry or space they're in, whether it's fashion, music, art, business. Just like the whole thing is get out and do it. Use your brain, use all of your brain, use different perceptions, learn from your mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes, surround yourself with the right team members,
and
then just do it. Because then what's going to happen is people talk about it so much, they never get to execute on it. So once they start having someone to like, hey, I have this goal, hey, look, let me tell you how to bring this goal to life, or let me enable you to, or let me hold you accountable. Right. Hey, you said you're going to wake up at 6 o'clock. It's 7:30 a.m. What are you doing,
Yeah.
Or hey, you got to sleep earlier the day before. or hey, you said you're gonna work out, let me help you meal prep. You know, like whatever the case may be.
Being able to take that constructive criticism, you know.
Yeah, that helps to have somebody else to do it, because I know doing it all on your own can be hard, and no one knows if you did it or not, right? If you ate the unhealthy meal. Whereas I know you guys are doing like healthy meals, or were you doing like partially vegan diet, right? Something like that?
Yeah, we did the vegetarian thing for 2 months.
So you were holding each other accountable to that?
Oh yeah, we didn't eat at all.
Absolutely.
Any meat at all?
No meat at all.
Wow.
And it's easier. It's just like you said, like working out with somebody, right? Like
it's just
like,
easier.
It's just easier. It's just like
if that
person's gonna hit that 13 reps in that set, like fucking, I'm gonna do 13 reps too, then, bro. You know?
Yeah.
Like, and that's just kind of how it goes.
And especially if you're already committed, if you're like, all right, Tuesday, 7 a.m., I'll be there, and you don't feel like it when you wake up, you're like, well, they're already getting ready. You can't do
that person wrong. Yeah.
Exactly. So they're already on their way there. That holds you accountable. Versus if it's just you, you're like,
and the person who doesn't show up.
Not good.
Not good.
Not a good look.
We'll see. It's gonna be like, it's a little competition. It's a little like motivation. Think about it. Well, one, we live together, so I can go downstairs and be like, "Hey, bro, wake up! We gotta go to the gym."
Put your shoes on. Yeah.
Straight over like, "Hey, protein. A pre-workout in your mouth. Here you go. Let's go."
Could you be surprised how many times, like, due to our schedules and staying up till 5 a.m. writing books, like, might end up falling asleep anywhere. I find this fool just 30-minute nap somewhere in the house, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, we gotta go
get that workout." Yeah.
Shit. All right, bro. You know, and it happens all the time because it's not supposed to be. It's okay though. Kobe takes like 6 naps a day.
Really?
Kobe Bryant, he does I think he does four naps a day.
Wow.
So
I watched a
keep
recent
refreshing
episode.
his brain. It's like
interesting.
Some sort of process that should do some research on.
Definitely. I'm getting very interested in all the sleep hacking, optimizing your nutrition and everything, intermittent fasting. Because the better I can be, the more alert I can be.
We need to get on your level, Chris.
That's what I was gonna say.
My vascularity.
Interviewing in a fucking.
I got like low body fat right now. It feels good. Thank you.
You should be interviewing in the mirror, man. You're a great example of hard work, dedication,
I appreciate that,
discipline, multiple skills. Being able to do this and then do what you do
Thank you
to make your monies.
Man, I don't want to be like an episode of bragging about myself or anything. I don't want this to be about you guys, but I do appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, that's kind of what we've been doing last couple of years, just feeding off each other's resources. The network, the
Since
knowledge.
we met at that event too, for those listening, Ali and I actually met first, and then he introduced me to Shawn. Yeah. But we met at the Secret Entourage or Secret Academy meetup in Houston, local entrepreneur event put on. There were probably like 30 or 40 people that came out. And everybody I connected with that night, I actually stayed in touch with them, and like pretty good friends with everybody. And it's really helped hold us accountable just over social media, because you'll comment back, you'll give me feedback on my most recent post. You're like, hey, you could probably change the captions or the words a little so it's easier to see. And that stuff helps, because my mom's just like, awesome video, Chris.
Yeah.
She's not going to tell me what to improve, right? My friends will give me that tough love, and you guys will have that
We'll always try to keep it as real as we can with you, to try to help you out.
And same goes for me. I mean, I like to give you guys positive feedback as well, and that helps us all get better.
And that's why we look at each other for inspiration and stuff too,
For sure. I love to see everybody, like all the friends that we have winning. Like I just used a dry cleaning pickup service that Safir, one of our mastermind friends, put together. Like it's his tech laundry
startup,
dry cleaning startup. And they've got app-enabled dry cleaning delivery and drop-off in Houston.
I need that.
They just drop by.
That's the reason I don't do dry clean, because I don't want to fucking do it.
But the thing is, I usually don't really have nice clothes like that or anything. But now that I've got my real estate license and I'm doing more open houses and like showing $500,000 homes, I can't just wear my Batman t-shirt and jeans. So
not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I wasn't at that level where I'm like, okay, I'm already doing millions in real estate.
$20 million homes in his Batman shirt. That's how it's supposed to be.
But it was super cool though to see my buddy's truck roll up with the logo and everything. I just love to see friends winning, and it helps inspire me, because I'm like, man, they got their kiosk in another building for drop off. That means more customers, more sales. And if I'm sitting on my butt that day, it makes me like get up and spark that fire a little more.
See,
right?
That's part of the equation. What we want to do is build a mastermind group where everyone's doing their own thing, and we can all just literally come up by supporting each other. And I'll give you a perfect example. Chris, every event that I've thrown the last 2 years, Chris has showed up. Every single one. He has not missed one. And so just like that, just to have the automatic support system. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't need to, even the point where we're just commenting back and forth, something simple like that, all the way up to, purchasing tickets for an event, or hey, I have a product coming out, let me, let's brainstorm on, how to refine the business plan, or and then connecting the dots. Like if I'm not here, Shawn and Chris are hanging out. That's how it's supposed to be. Right. Everyone's using the network to leverage each other's resources. So
sure.
Cool to see that.
Absolutely. And I think the coolest thing too with these, the more relationships we develop, the more we can connect to other people. Because you may know someone who would be a great guest on my podcast, or I may know someone who's a great fit for what you guys are doing.
Everybody's like 1 or 2 people away from the person that you want to meet.
Yeah.
The person that you may need to meet.
Yeah, and imagine like how much more difficult it would be to try to figure it all out or meet everybody on your own versus making a connection, and someone can say, hey, I can introduce you, let's go get lunch with that person that you've been wanting to meet that you felt like a cold LinkedIn message wouldn't do the trick, right?
Exactly.
It's all about who you know.
Absolutely. And who knows you.
And who knows you.
Yeah.
So that's why, of course, it's more important to start putting out more content and spreading your message, writing books.
And see, that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to make our own content because we've been doing it for bigger clients.
We've been doing it for others.
Yeah, so now we're like, let's just apply this to ourselves. It comes in handy due to the fact that we have the teams already to do these things. So now it's applied for ourselves. Take a little time. Obviously, pay your team, take care of your team, motivate, incentivize it for them to do it for you. And then do it so it's just going to help you either create more awareness, obtain more leads, and be that influencer. When I say influencer, not like a social media influencer, but that person of influence that can connect the dots for everybody else. Like if you need something, I want you to call me because you know I have the answer, and if I don't, I'll find the answer. Right. If I don't, Sean will have the answer. If Sean does, he'll find someone that has the answer.
The way you get what you're looking for, you can find the answer.
Exactly.
And that's the best way to be of service to your clients, or I guess your friends, your business partners. If you can be the go-to resource and people know they can rely on you, right? Like they're going to show up to your events, your meetings. They're not going to come up with excuses. Because I've had the friends too that they flake on stuff. They'll set plans. You try to set something for 3 times and you got to reschedule. And then it's kind of like the boy or the girl who cried wolf or whatever the story is, where you're kind of like, oh, you want to meet this time? Is it going to really happen? And that kind of poisons a relationship in a way where you can't really trust that someone's going to perform, right?
You start giving yourself their reputation.
Yeah, so I think that's really strong that you guys are always in touch, and I know that you guys are for real if you say we're going to meet up here.
I think that's one of the biggest things that made us realize, that we can just count on each other, is that we're reliable.
Yes, that's difficult. That's becoming more and more difficult to find today, is reliability, and
people are so caught up. People are so busy. Some people are
I get it.
Afraid.
And whenever people say that they don't have time for something, it's like it's not a lack of time, it's a lack of priority. Because they can adjust their schedule accordingly. It's just not a priority to them if they're not able to fit it in their calendar, right? They're basically saying whatever else that they're doing is more important than your commitment, which is kind of like...
See, and the thing is, it's all about that schedule you make, right? Because people have their 9 to 5s, people have their side hustles.
Everyone's busy.
Exactly. Everyone has the same 24 hours, 168 hours a week, right? So it's just what you do with it. So we've made it a point to, once a week, let's make sure we're hanging out with our families. Let's make sure we're hanging out with our significant other. Make sure we're hanging out with the little bros.
Yeah.
Taking people to coffee. Hanging out with people that are a little smarter than us, or a lot smarter than us, to learn from them. Hey, but we make some time. That's one thing that we do every twice a month. Hey, let's schedule a lunch with them.
That's perfect. Because a lot of people, they'll plan their schedule for all their work activities, and then they don't do anything for social development or friendships or whatever. Just hanging out, grabbing coffee. Right. You have to plan that stuff, because otherwise it's going to end up not happening when your calendar fills up with other things. So that's something that I've been working on too, is saying Wednesday, date night with the girlfriend or whatever, right?
Exactly. And then it comes like a micro perspective, macro to micro. So you plan out your year, you have your big goals, that this date you're going on this trip, or you have this event, then you come down to quarterly, then you come down to monthly, then weekly.
Bring it down to daily,
Exactly. And then daily, exactly. You're going to wake up the same time every day. You're going to go to the gym at this time.
Yeah.
You know that once a month you're going to have to do this event. You know that you're going to have to take time to do podcasts and record content, or do a photo shoot, or read books. So it's all about keeping. That's why we keep this handy. He actually got me the little ones too, so that stays in my pocket.
The little notebooks too, like the pocket one.
Also. Yeah, I even found a utility pen. So they have these pens where they have keychains on them, and they're tiny pens like this.
That's awesome.
And you can just latch it onto the little rubber, right, on your notebook, so it stays. And then you just, when you take it out, you just stretch it apart, and it becomes like a long pen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because, the notebook, I have mine in my bag at all times, and I make sure to carry it. Even if I don't write anything, which I do try to write something down from every meeting, it's a good way to write down any thoughts that you have or something that you don't want to forget.
Correct.
Because you may have a eureka moment.
My planner and stuff is a lot larger.
Yeah.
That one is mainly for, ideas, right? If I think about something, I'm like... Just write it down.
And you can sketch out.
Exactly.
Right.
And we do that a lot for design stuff. We sketch out different prints. He actually, cool thing, he got me a little pen. It's like kind of like a Wacom board pen. So what you do is like you draw something, and then you literally press the email button on the paper, and it sends the design.
A regular piece of paper.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And it sends the design. Piece of paper. And then what you can do is pull it up on Illustrator and work with it. Use
that's
that for
cool.
branding stuff. Yeah.
One thing that was inspiring to me, I went to Japan a few years ago, and a friend who I had living there for a while, we were hanging out. She knew Japanese, so she could help show me around the cities. And one of her friends flew in from New York, and she was like, I guess, a clothing designer, if that's the right word. And she had a sketchbook, and she dedicated that to getting inspiration from the Japanese culture, from her trip. And she would draw things, she'd put pictures in, she'd take a photo and print it and put it in her scrapbook.
Kind of like
for inspiration. And she was going to make a collection of clothing based on that trip alone, which was really cool.
It's kind of like the book, right? Same thing.
That's the technique in design called mood board or stylescaping, where you take all your ideas, color schemes, different influences, you put it together, and you use that as a framework for whatever project you're doing. So a lot of people.
So you guys have that in the book as well. That's awesome, because I feel like that's something more on the creative side. I definitely didn't learn that in school. Mood board.
So I mean, you can call it whatever. It's literally book of influence. Yeah, and inspiration. Exactly. It comes down not just creative. Do it in a planner. Write stuff down. Create your goals. Write it down. Use a schedule, because it helps you. There's a lot of stuff going on in your brain. Average human thinks 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. Obviously, you're not going to remember and recall all of them. So how do you do that? You write the important ones down, and then you add things like meditation and concentrated learning, so you can retain, because there's people that read books, 50 books a year, they don't apply anything.
Everybody stop taking their phones to the toilet, please.
Yeah.
Please. First of all, it's gross.
That camera turned
Second, that's fine. First of all, it's gross. Second of all, that's actually a great time
to think,
to reflect and think. The shower,
you're right,
in the toilet is a great time to, I come up with some of my best ideas on the toilet.
I've heard of a lot of that, people doing that in the shower, but I guess
same thing. Showers, yeah,
bathroom.
Same thing. Right next to each other, bathroom.
Yeah. And even
bathroom thoughts.
I heard, I guess Steve Jobs or other people too, Steve Jobs recommended, I think that he would actually walk around without any technology just to get a break and to think, because that's good thinking time when you're pacing for 5 or 10 minutes.
Your mind's quiet. Mark Cuban as well, he takes like 30, 45-minute showers. Like, his showers are very serious to him.
Wow.
He has like a stool in there and everything, and he sits there and he's just
thinking of new ideas
all this stuff.
Even to a point where, like, obviously technology could be of advantage, but it can also be a disadvantage. Wake up, or I've been doing this lately. When I wake up, don't check my phone.
Yeah, that's hard.
So wake up, that's hard.
You're tempted to go check and see what's going on. And
trust me.
That's why you don't wake up late.
Yeah.
So you don't feel rushed.
Because if you wake up late, then you're like, oh man,
then you have to see what's going on. Exactly.
Yeah. That's the beautiful part, is if you wake up before all the calls come in, and the texts and the emails, that's your time.
Right. And we've noticed that you wake up at 5, 6 o'clock, the rest of the world is sleeping. You have a head start, and then to a point where before bed, don't check your phone, read, fall asleep naturally.
Right.
So there's different things you can
do. Get rid of the blue light.
There's a lot of studies that show how those things are very unhealthy for you,
and they affect the quality of your sleep as well.
I believe it.
Even sugar, like the amount of sugar people eat. This is all stuff that's kind of new to me too, because I consider myself healthy, right? You guys were saying like I'm consistent, I work out, I like to eat healthy, but I didn't realize how much sugar I was eating until I started reading about how bad that is for you. Yeah. You crash, and then I track it, and I'm like, whoa, I already exceeded my daily sugar in like a protein bar in a smoothie that I thought was healthy. So things like that, opening your mind.
Yeah, it was crazy when we went out to Dallas for the convention that he spoke at.
Yeah, that's cool. Getting some speaking gigs and stuff too.
That's when we were doing the vegetarian thing, and I told him, I was like, when we go out there, I was like, let's have a burger or something, like let's
reward ourselves.
Because we always told each other, like, we didn't want to do it forever. We wanted to create that balance system. We wanted to do like once a week we eat meat, we reward ourselves with a burger or whatever it may be, a steak, doesn't matter.
That's awesome.
And I told him, I was like, let's do it. Let's start now. So we went, and we had an amazing burger. I don't remember what it was called, the goat something. They have it out here too. I forget what the place is called, but it was delicious. And right after we were done eating, we sat in the car, and we didn't even leave. We just fell asleep, instant.
Because you were just immediately felt so stuffed,
and the next day,
the calories.
Same thing. We ate meat again the next day, and
we drove to the
hotel. We got to the parking lot, and we fell asleep.
I was like, I'm taking a nap. He's like, me too. An instant, you can feel it. Yeah. Because we've been clean for 2 months.
Right. That's insane.
Yeah, and
it's weird, right? Like I don't do too much research on like the whole food thing, but I kind of assume like we get the energy, right?
Right.
You get the stress and stuff from these animals if they were super stressed out before they were slaughtered or something. Like
that's crazy. I heard about that.
And you eat them. Like, what if that is affecting you? You know, what if you're getting the stress from these animals and stuff as well?
Yeah, because I mean, I've heard the saying "you are what you eat," but I never really fully understand how true that is. And like you were saying as well, when you eat something that's not in a part of a diet that you've been following, you can notice a difference
right away.
Like if I eat a 1,000 calorie meal all in one time, when I usually split that into 3 meals, I'm gonna feel sleepy too, because then the blood rushes to your stomach. I
think it had a lot to do with that too, maybe because we ate too much. But still, it was like.
But that's like the standard quantity. Most people eat that every single meal.
Correct. That was in one meal.
Yeah, we didn't do anything crazy. We just had the burger and fries, just like anybody else.
And they're wondering why they have like brain fog and they're sleepy and they can't wake up and they're drowsy. Whenever you guys are on, your health is on point. You're not drinking so much sugar and like.
We were losing weight. Energy's higher. Sleep was better. There's a lot of stuff.
You're more alert. I love that feeling. The other day, I had a high school reunion that I went to, and everyone was asking if I was going to drink another drink, and I was like, I don't really drink unless it's like a special occasion that these days, because I hate that feeling of as you have another drink of losing my speed and my consciousness and being able to think on my feet. Yeah. I don't like that feeling of feeling like I can't control my thoughts or what I want to say and do, right? So I pulled away from that a little bit more lately.
Oh, we tried that. There was a whole 6-month period where we didn't drink.
Wow.
We did it on purpose. Like, and it was hard because that's the norm. Everyone goes out. We like music, so going out wasn't the same.
Yeah, music, that whole scene is like definitely full of
so
drinks.
Different. Yeah, exactly. And so we were just, challenging ourselves, challenging our bodies, mind and body, because it's like exercise for the mind.
We just drove out to San Marcos to go support somebody's event, and they were having a blast, and we didn't have a drink. And I'm just sitting there looking at everybody like...
Man, I know. It can be difficult as well if you're not participating in the drinking and everyone else is drinking. It's kind of like you're on a different level than them. They look like they're having so much fun, and you're kind of like getting a little bored because you're not laughing at the same jokes. They're not as funny. But kind of like what you talked about with the food, I think it's good to do everything with balance. Like, if you're going to go on a dry fast for 6 months from alcohol, go out a couple nights, right? Have a steak, get a burger.
Exactly.
I've definitely
done that replacement, right? Like, I won't feel as bad about eating something bad because I'm like, I don't drink anymore, so I'm going to eat these tacos at 3 in the morning because I didn't drink any alcohol tonight. I deserve you tacos.
Because there's different levels of it. Some people are like, okay, I'm going to eat clean forever, and they never cheat, they never have ice cream or anything, and they can't enjoy life. Then there's the other people who are like, oh, YOLO, I need to enjoy life, and they just eat like trash, and they don't feel good. So, I mean, like with anything else, it's all balance.
It's all balance. It's all discipline. It's all about, I always tell people just chase those fears, right? I think that's the biggest thing is it's not going to be easy. And I feel like we're at that period in that point in time. If you're trying to become successful, and if you want to do it while you're young, which I suggest, right? You don't want to be old and rich. I feel like you'd rather enjoy it while your health is good and before everybody's trying to wait for you to die and take your money. But I feel like we're at that point here, being in our 20s and trying to become successful. Whatever you're trying to do, I suggest you do what you love, and I think it makes things a lot easier. But we're just at that point where it's not going to be easy, right? Right now is the time where this shit is supposed to be hard, and for us, it's easy to like kind of think about our parents. Me thinking about my dad, tying shoes and shoelaces at 7 years old, cleaning dead bodies at 11 years old, moving to the U.S. with nothing, with clothes, a couple pairs of clothes, and that's it. And being able to become successful.
Being mugged on the first day.
Being mugged. My dad got pistol whipped on his first day on the job.
First day in America.
Where was he
working at a gas station.
Oh, yeah.
And
my dad came from India, actually worked at a Wendy's. He got robbed at gunpoint, too. Yeah. Crazy stuff happens. I'm like, this has never happened to me.
We don't have to worry about that. I remember my dad saying I had to walk 4 miles to work, and I'm like, this
man,
AC feels good. Let me crank up this podcast.
I wouldn't have gone to work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, our generation, I guess, is
getting
a little lazier.
We're spoiled. And then being in the U.S., we're even more spoiled because we have access to everything. We have so much, there's so many distractions.
On that note, it's the easiest time ever to make money and become successful, but it's also the hardest because we have distractions. There's everybody else doing it. People start judging themselves. They have a bad frame of reference.
And that also brings me to the point where, like, I feel like people look at other people like, hey, man, that dude's spoiled. Like, he's lucky. like his dad's got money or whatever. Any person like that, and it's always like, you don't know that. You know, that person can be so spoiled to the point where they don't know how to work hard. They don't know how to go get it because everything was given to them. And now that person that grew up in the hood, or that person that grew up overseas or wherever,
that's a hunger you can't replicate.
That's the type of thing. And then when you're that billionaire, and I asked that billionaire, hey, would you go back in time and change anything? I highly doubt it.
Right, because that's what made
him who
successful, from developing the work ethic necessary. The other day, you messaged me about it. I was watching that Steve Aoki documentary on Netflix, and a couple people were like, "Oh, like I didn't know he would have a cool story. He's just a DJ." I'm like, everybody has a cool story. That's kind of, I'm sure
people don't know.
People don't know about his story, and like they didn't know it was related to, or his dad was the Benihana guy.
And they would still assume if you told somebody that he got money, he had money, and
his dad supported him. DJ stuff. Like, no,
his dad didn't support him at all.
It's a great documentary. You guys should go check out for sure. But like the whole point of that was that people were making assumptions and judging the book by the cover just because he was a DJ. They thought, oh, okay, he got his money from his dad, who was a rich guy from Benihana. It's truly not the case.
So that's a great documentary. It covers entrepreneurship, covers music, covers family, covers mindset,
hard work,
everything. Yeah.
That's because there's a self-doubt. You know, he grew up in, I guess, California. Like, he had all white friends, no Asians
everything.
To connect with.
Getting the goosebumps, bro. Most traveled musician in the world.
That is insane. So stories like that. I mean, that's a lot of stories like that exist here too. They're just not on a Netflix documentary.
Correct, and we use like influence from everyone. You know, all the books you've read, all the different, impact theory, just like that. Seeing all these people that come from nothing and then they, build an empire.
We talked about impact theory on the show, right?
Yeah, I love impact theory.
We spoke about it on the show.
I haven't gone into a whole lot of detail yet. It's definitely one of my influences and what I'd like my show to turn into.
I want to get into that for sure.
We talk about it in the book too.
That's like my favorite YouTube channel.
Just resources like that. Think about podcasts, audiobooks, SoundCloud, YouTube.
Seriously.
I don't think there's any better cheat code than impact theory right now, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's interviewing the best people, some of the most successful,
strongest star power,
strongest, mentally, physically. And these people are kind of just telling you their stories and what they went through and how they got to where they're at. And
you're getting to shortcut it.
It's like, I could just watch this and learn so much. I always tell people, just try to implement one thing. I mean, these people, now you have access to where people are pretty much telling you what to do. It's all about doing it, man. It's simple as that. How bad do you really want it? It's just...
Yeah, the information's there. It's just a matter of actually doing it. And there was one interview, I think it was Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you've seen him, he's been on like the Impact Theories and Ed Milet podcast and all that. And he was saying that in a world of this much free information, ignorance is a choice.
100%. 100%. You got information overload. It's about what you pull and what you do with it. I mean, the cool thing is, man, we culminated everything we read, heard, saw, and put it into one book.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like we're not the smartest guys in the world. We don't have all the knowledge, but we did read all these
books. You've got access
to learned all these
people,
things from other people, and we kind of implemented it into our own words.
And that's the thing. You don't even have to be the smartest anymore. You just align yourself and learn from what the smartest people are doing. Follow the steps. Take the actions.
Trust the process, bro.
Trust the process.
People have already done it.
Absolutely.
And we talk about a little bit of everything. We talk about the mindset. We talk about how to use a planner. You talk about how to communicate.
That's all so important. It's basically like a book they should give high schoolers to read.
And that was the point. It was our target market is like 15 to 30.
Yeah,
I would say, but like it's a manual. We call it a manuscript.
I like that idea a lot.
Follow the steps, and you're not gonna follow every single step. Take one or two things that work for you, because what works for you may not work for me or work for him.
Right.
But it's about
sometimes it's all it takes, though, right?
A couple things here and there.
Things like I'm gonna wake up early and I'm gonna go to the gym every day. And next thing you know, 6 months later, you're a completely different person.
Absolutely. I showed someone the other day about how I use Google Calendar for everything. Like literally, if you want to work out or you want to grab coffee or you want me to do something, it's going on my calendar at a time with a reminder and everything. And if it changes, it moves immediately to another time or another day.
Is Google Calendar that smooth?
Google Calendar is real smooth,
Google in general, guys. Google Suite, we use it for all the businesses. Google Calendar, you got Google Documents, you got Google Sheets,
Google Maps,
Google Maps, you got Google Classroom. So like for our team, what we do is record videos of what we're doing, put it on Google Classroom, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and now you can train them without training them.
Oh, that's cool. Because so far I would have probably, like, my solution would have been to put it in Dropbox and then title it folder 1, start here, folder 2. So that's another way to streamline the process.
Google Drive. All your documents are there for business. I mean, it's a free CRM.
And so much of it's free. Like
most of it's free.
You get plenty with the free stuff, and if you want and you love it, you can upgrade.
The nice thing about Google is it's all in one place. You can literally go to Google.com. You just gotta click that little dots over there, and you have your Gmail, your
right.
And
Google, that just goes to show, like, whatever you want at your fingertips, right?
Yeah. Google Keep is a task manager.
Yeah.
Google Contacts, that's your Rolodex. I mean, literally everything's technology can be your best friend, biggest asset if you use it properly,
effectively. What would you guys say is your favorite part of the book that you both got to contribute to? Like, what was your favorite message?
Oh, when you say favorite part, I was gonna say the cover.
I love the cover. Yeah, we can talk about that. If you guys want to explain the cover, and I'll put it up in the link.
I was heavily involved in that process, but he actually ended up designing the first cover, which was the initial one that was on the website and that we had posted on his video and stuff like that. And then I went in and kind of just wanted to make it more extravagant.
So there's a lot of details you gotta look at it. You really gotta look at it when you see it. So the principles, the P, 2 P's over here. It's our LLC. It's kind of subtly in there. Then you got the universe print. You got the...
I don't know if people realize, right? It's like 2 P's and then LLC.
That's cool.
Right? LLC.
Yeah.
So, it's cool. All of it's like hidden symbolic meaning and stuff like that. All design related. But yeah, there's a bunch of different elements within the cover. There's the figure 8. Because the book will be called Create Your Frequency, Create, C-R-E-8. The clothing line's going to be called Create. The 8 it's a numerology, but if you turn the 8 sideways, it's a infinity symbol, which kind of represents that your legacy is infinite, your frequency is infinite.
Man, see, going back to the details, you guys really thought a lot about it.
Yep.
Other people just like, I put a name up on Canva and that's my logo and there we go.
We're still kind of stressed about it right now, how we want to release it and stuff like that. We wanted to release it kind of early. We wanted to do it before Christmas possibly because we wanted people to either not necessarily gift for Christmas, but mainly for New Year's, right? Because it's a great book to start your New Year's with, and
people have their resolutions and stuff, so
right. It's a great time of the year. But I mean, the cool thing with something like this is that it's, kind of like the infinity sign. It's infinite, yeah. Right. Once you put a video up on YouTube, 5 years later, someone may stumble across your YouTube channel and then consume all your content.
Think about how many books from back then are becoming so popular now,
man.
Right?
Like
1937.
It's probably way more popular now than it was then.
It's insane. I'm even watching videos from Jim Rohn. He was speaking on that stuff before we were even born.
These guys knew about all this stuff before anybody.
Which is crazy. I feel like
all the presidents, the Thomas Jeffersons, even the Hitlers, right? Like I feel like they had this knowledge and they didn't give it to other people, and that's why they had all that power. That's why they were able to do these crazy things that you hear. Like how was one man able to convince
all these
the
people
whole world that this was okay?
Right. Because knowledge is power for sure. Well, I guess I also heard that knowledge isn't necessarily power.
Applied knowledge is power.
Applied knowledge is power. Because, a lot of people, you go to class, you watch videos on YouTube, you close the laptop, you close your phone.
And that's it.
You never take action.
I see a lot of people, since we've been going to a lot of conferences and seminars, you see the same people attending the same thing, but you're not doing anything that you learned. And it's like, what do you do?
It's just that, too. It's so, it's weird, right? Like, you'll find people who are successful and they're good at what they do, right? You can be a good real estate agent, you can be a good salesman, whatever it may be,
good athlete.
You can make 6 figures, you can make 7 figures, but you're still not well balanced.
It's just that one thing.
You have that one thing, but I feel like being balanced is key. We went, I don't know if I want to say this, we babysitted some grown men who were a lot more successful than we were at this moment, and it was just crazy seeing people not being able to handle their alcohol and stuff like that, and I was just like, I was 40, dog.
Even to a point,
how are you with anybody?
How are you a multimillionaire, 10 businesses, but you still don't have the people skills?
Right?
How does that work? Or you know what? You haven't seen your family in 6 months. What? Huh? You never know the situation. You never want to assume, but it's what we're trying to do is well-rounded. We want a little bit of skills in everything.
Yeah.
We want to perfect those 1 or 2 things that we're known for. We want to be able to hold each other accountable and make sure that you don't feel bad when you take a day off, or when you eat that steak, or have a sip of wine. It's all about keeping that balance to a point where
balance is key. I really resonate with that because even there were some investors that I was kind of working with in Houston, and we had a different vision, right? We're still kind of working together on some things, but they were really wanting to scale up, do 100 deals a month, this and that. And my vision of what I wanted to do was to do like 2 deals a month, travel 3 or 4 months a year, be more passive, right? And get to focus on the podcast and stuff.
I think that's totally okay.
Success looks different to different people, but balance is what I'm seeking.
That's what we've been getting really good at, just keeping that balance. With 2 or 3 different projects we're doing recently, we've been doing real estate too, so learning the big ticket items. Shout out to Sway right behind us in this room.
Yeah, on the other side of the room, there's some deals happening.
Yeah. So learn surrounding yourself with people you can give and take from.
Yeah.
Teach, give, take, share energy. Sometimes it's like when I'm down, come over here and hype him up, and sometimes, hey bro, I'm having a tough day. Hey, it's gonna be all right. Just giving that feedback. Same thing. We wake up every morning. He FaceTime me. He's like, hey, ready for the office? High energy.
That's awesome.
Let's get some sales today. Like stuff like that. And it goes from a macro level to a micro level, right?
Right.
It's the small little tweaks here and there, all the way to the big lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
And we really touch on that because we've had experience with dealing with the wrong people on our team.
And the negative energy can just...
all that. I'll throw one bad apple can ruin the whole stock, right?
Yeah.
And so we really try to maintain the high level energy within ourselves and the people around us. Little things like showing up to people's events, supporting their Instagram, buying their product instead of asking for a discount.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So definitely, guys, one big chapter in the book is surrounding yourself with the right team. Learn that early. The earlier you learn that, the further you'll go in life because you won't have to make the mistakes of dealing with the wrong partners.
Don't be afraid to lose people. A lot of people will be lost.
Right.
That's just
not everyone's meant to walk. You might start with them, you might not end up with them. So filter, adapt as you go, and
it's important because what's the other saying? I always have these quotes or sayings that I hear from other shows. It's like if you wanna win, like go alone.
If you wanna go
far.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
There we go.
There you go.
I knew you'd come through. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to butcher it. But, if you want to go far, go together. Is that right?
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Okay, if you want to go far, go together. So you can get there faster if you're not working on delegating.
How long is that going to last?
But you'll burn out, right? You really need the team to support.
Seen it, trust me. We've seen it with people who've
done it all alone.
Necessarily, I guess I could say they didn't take our services or partner with us, and these are people that we knew, right? They were our friends, and we wanted to help them, but they didn't want to give us any percentage. They didn't want to they just wanted our help, and we would always tell them bro, what's 5% of 10 million? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna make? That's just what it was, and they didn't want to do it, and next thing you know, things don't always turn out as planned because you try to do it by yourself, and this doesn't go like that.
I think that's the biggest block for new entrepreneurs is getting over the equity debates because everyone's always held up on I want 100% or 80% equity, but then 3 years later it's like, well, that business didn't even go anywhere, so why didn't you just open up to other people?
Correct.
I'd rather have, like you said, 5% of 10 million or whatever.
And we would obviously prove and display our skills and our accomplishments and what we've already done. They knew that we knew what we were talking about. They just
a lot of people get selfish.
Yeah, exactly.
Ego gets in the way of a lot of things, though, right?
Does.
Even if you think about we were talking about just socializing. It's a lot of people will be afraid to, get close to somebody who's might be better off than them at that moment or stuff like that, just because of their own pride and their own thing, right? I don't want to dabble with this person out. He makes me feel small, or he
you feel threatened by them.
I'm threatened. I'm better than him, but he's got more money than me. But
that's the thing people don't realize. People judge based on the bank account, but you want to be, or at least our goal. And I'm sure you too, Chris. Our goal is to be rich in not just monetary value, but happiness, passion, knowledge.
Never let your bank account define you.
100%. That's not that. It's not that. Because some people can be super rich. You can be really, really wealthy, but you have no other skill set. You have no people skills. You have no happiness. And we see that all the time.
Yeah.
People always look. I'm guilty of it. Look up people's net worth. Cool.
That's kind of just the baseline that people refer to, right?
Right.
It's cool to see because obviously to create money you have to create value of some sort.
100%.
So that it gives a good indication of how much value somebody had. Jeff Bezos changed the world, worth a lot of money.
Gotcha. Exactly. And so, but like I said, we want to surround ourselves with people who are not just well-rounded in money.
Yes.
You want to be everything. I want to feed off your energy. I want to feed off your ideas. Shit, I've seen some of the people that don't have any monetary value. They're the happiest.
Right.
Why? How does that happen? So
they've got the basics covered. Because if you can be happy when you have nothing, you'll be able to maintain it.
And that's all it is. Money will just amplify the person you are. It's not going to change it. You know what I'm saying? Just because you have $1,000 and you can't manage it, you're not going to suddenly become a financial advisor with $100,000. You have to get better at when you do have nothing. You have the patience. You have the passion, the knowledge, the motivation, the grit to not stop.
I always like to ask for a key takeaway because typically we'll talk about a lot of different topics and kind of like we said, it's important to take action. Like, what would be one thing that you think our listeners can take action on today? I guess one for each of you guys.
Okay, so first, I'm always going to recommend everyone read the book "Create Your Frequency." But before it comes out, honestly, pick something that you really like. There's a self-help, personal development book. There's a video. There's a seminar. There's a conference already on that topic. Listen to it all the way, and literally write down 3 things that you can apply immediately.
Cool. I got one for that. Pick something that you hate, or pick something that you're very afraid of, and go do it. Whatever it may be, whether it's public speaking or skydiving or any of those things, just
try it.
Fail forward, whatever it may be, but go try it. And I think that's the only way you can overcome something like that is by doing it. It's that person who falls and falls and falls over and over, but keeps getting back
to get up,
and eventually will become skillful. Eventually.
Yeah, you fail less and you suck less over time.
Correct. And that's what it is. You'll feel really bad the first time. Trust me, in anything you do, very few people get it right the first time. That's okay. But at least they took the step.
To continue.
Exactly. Take the step, take the next step, and you'll get better and better as you go. Next thing you know, you're successful. And next thing you know, whatever that may be.
It seems like it happened overnight to the person looking from the outside, correct, but it's been a series of failures and getting back.
They don't know that it took you 40 businesses to get one right,
Yeah.
Or they don't know that people, the athletes that score the touchdown, they've spent out thousands of hours on the field,
in the fields practicing.
Or the graphic designer with the nice content. You don't know that he had to watch 4,000 hours of footage to learn that. So just fail forward. Another takeaway is surround yourself with the right team. I'm gonna keep talking about
huge.
that.
Team's huge
because you can't do it by yourself. It's not really fun to sit in first class when you're alone. So surround yourself with the right team. Provide value. Take value. Be open to criticism. Find yourself a Shawn or a Chris.
And as soon as you feel that little bit of question about any type of person, or if that person doesn't come through when you knew they were supposed to, don't be afraid to cut that person out. That's a big thing. I know it can be hard because sometimes it's your brother or your old best friend and all these things. And
that's true. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I don't have most of those people in my life anymore. And I still hit them up every once in a while, see how they're doing, stuff like that. But they know. Now they know. They know that I have, bigger things, bigger goals, just things that I want to do. And
it's tough for disagreements like that too, because you always want to break things up amicably, but obviously you broke up because things were probably getting tense and you had some disagreements on things. So it's good to check in and see how they're doing, and obviously over time those relationships become a little bit easier to deal with. Even like my ex-girlfriend just got engaged recently, and I was like happy for her, even though things at the time, we broke up for a reason and things weren't working out. I'm honestly years later like very happy that she found someone who can change her life, right? Same thing with business partners. It's like I don't wish anything bad on anyone.
Yeah.
We obviously went different ways.
I don't send anything bad to anyone because I don't want anybody sending it back this way.
Right, right.
You keep doing you, I'm going to keep doing me. And I'm not worried about you.
So always maintain the high energy for yourself and the people around you, man. That's a big takeaway. Do things that increase your energy, and anything that decreases it, stay away from.
Eliminate it. And I think I remember hearing another saying, if it's not a hell yes, it should be a hell no.
Correct.
That's what I'm working towards getting to in my life.
Thing. I think that's exactly what it is. I
want to stop doing things that I don't want to do. If I don't want to do it, like, it should be a hell no.
And that goes for people as well. That goes for your team and everybody else.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to put up with things that you don't want to.
See, we always say men lie, women lie. Numbers may be skewed, but energy does not lie.
Energy does not lie.
So only do things that increase energy, whether it is if you have to get rid of alcohol because it's decreasing energy, if you have to get rid of meat, if you have to stop hanging out with a certain person, if you have to break up, if you have to quit the job, whatever, quit the job, take a cold shower, jump out of a plane, whatever it may be, do things that fill you up with passion, knowledge, energy, and so you can share that energy with anybody else. Because if you don't have it for yourself, there's nothing to give. You can't fill anybody else's cup up if yours is empty. So do things to fulfill yourself. Even that goes for relationships and partnerships. If I have no value to give, what am I going to do for you? Because I'm not even doing it for myself right now. You know?
Right. If you can't take care of yourself, it's kind of like the oxygen mask on the plane, right? You got to take care of yourself first.
Exactly like that.
Take care of someone else.
And then once you do it, find that team that they can help. They can kind of counteract, cover your strengths, build on your strengths, cover the weaknesses.
Yeah.
And then it trickles down to your team. It trickles down to your family. It trickles down to kids, whatever it may be.
That's why I've been single for 5 years. You're
working on your cup.
Trying to work on my cup.
That's good, man. That's good.
Fill my cup.
Fill your cup, bro. But where can these guys follow, or where can we find you guys on Instagram, social media, your website? The book.
We've been becoming more active on social media. So my handle is Create Your Frequency, just like normal words, Create Your Frequency, and then Shawn's is Create Your Frequency with an 8 instead of the word create. So follow both of us. Shawn has a bunch of pages, all the businesses he's managing. I have a couple of clients that I'm on there, trying to do the influencer route. Again, not influencer. Of influence.
Person of influence.
Yeah, I try to share. Well, we all try to share content value. Different tips and tricks, little life hacks, business hacks. So, and then that's the thing. Clean up your feed too. If you're depressed, if you're sad, stop following dumb shit. Literally, stop following dumb shit. Only fill your stuff with positive action, with businesses that you admire, athletes.
I always tell people now, I realize you don't even have to. Follow people.
You don't have to follow them.
You just follow hashtags.
Friends, right.
You just follow hashtags. You just follow the right hashtags, right? Like for me, I don't follow too many people at all, and I just follow hashtag graphic design, hashtag entrepreneurial
That's cool.
motivation.
So you see only what you want to see.
Hashtag Tom Bilyeu or impact theory or whatever.
I love that.
Right.
That's a good pro tip. I learned something new too.
So the book is gonna be out towards the end of the year. We're probably thinking Q1 is gonna go all in. You're gonna see it. We're going to be in your face with the marketing. So you're actually going to do a marketing campaign for us too before you take your next skydiving trip.
Yeah.
I need you to say, I'm Chris Bello and I'm creating my frequency, and then jump out of the plane. Deal?
Sounds good. I'm down. I'll do it. It's been great having you guys on the show.
Thanks so much.
Yes, sir, bro.
And everybody go follow them, check them out, and remember to create your frequency. And these guys are going to teach you how. So,
alrighty.
Peace.
Let's go.